this section is that it's a visual of interactive mining at multiple levels of abstraction. Okay, so usually typical OLAP operations such as drill down and roll up also we will be discussing. And finally, we'll also harness model for querying multidimensional databases. So what is a data cube? A data cube allows data to be modeled and viewed in multiple dimensions. Okay, it is defined by dimensions and facts. In general, we can say that dimensions are the perspectives of to which an organization want to keep records. Okay, it is allows data. This data cube, what it does, it allows data to be modeled. So in general, we can say that dimension are perspectives or entities with respect to which an organization want to keep records. For example, if we take all electronics, it may create a sales of data warehouse in order to keep records of the things of this with respect to the dimensions like time, item, branch, and location. These dimensions, okay, and these dimensions will allow the store to keep track of things like multi sales of items and the branches and location at which the items were sold. So this could be an example like all electronics, which will create a sales data warehouse in order to keep track of records of the store sales. Each dimension will have a table associated with it, which is called as a dimension table. So what does this dimension table describe? It describes the dimension. For example, if we consider the dimension table for any item, it may contain attributes like name, brand, and type. So these dimension tables are specified by the users or experts, or automatically generated and adjusted based on data distribution. Okay. So we have dimension table which describes the dimension. The facts are numeric measures. So they think of them as the quantities by which we want to analyze relationship between the dimensions. For example, sale data warehouse will include dollars sold, the units sold, and the amount budgeted. These are numeric measures. Facts are nothing but numeric measures. Dimension and facts, isn't it? So dimensions are may have each. A dimension is nothing but each dimension will have a table associated with other perspectives or the entities. If we say dimension is an entity, whereas fact is a numeric measure of that. So like how many are sold and how many units were there, what is the amount budgeted. So the fact table, what it contains the name of the facts or measures as well as keys to each of the related dimension tables. So we will have dimension table and fact table. So these are the quantities by which we want to just analyze relationship between the dimensions. So this multidimensional data model is typically organized around a central theme such as sales. So this theme is represented by a fact table, and these facts are nothing but numeric measures, and these we can think of them as the quantities by which we just want to analyze relationship between the dimensions. So this is an example. So 2D representation, the sales of, this is just an example, 2D representation. So this is 2D of sales for all electronics according to what's sold. So what are the items which are sold, and these measures are nothing but dollars sold. This is in thousands. Suppose that we would like to view this sale with a sales data for all electronics. Suppose we want the same as a 3-dimension. For example, if we would like to view the data according to time and item as well as location for the cities Chicago, New York, Toronto, and Vancouver, and that is shown in the next slide. So this is the 3D view of sales for all electronics according to time, item, and location. So according to the time, item, as well as the location, these are the locations whatever we have taken. So this is a 3D view. Suppose 2 is over, 3 is over. Suppose that we would now like to view our sales data with an additional fourth dimension, such as view. It's very tricky, but we can. Okay, but it can be thought of as. It's a bit tricky, but we can think of 4D cube as being a series of 3D cubes as shown in figure. This is the figure which shows you the 4D dimension. However, so if we continue like this, we can display an n-dimensional data as a series of n minus 1 dimensional. So n-dimensional data can be represented as. So this data cube is a metaphor for multidimensional data storage, and the actual physical storage of such data will differ from its logical representation. And what the important thing what we have to remember is that data cubes are n-dimensional and they do not confine data to 3-dimensional. So whatever table shows the data at different degrees of summarization, what we have seen earlier, 2D, 3D. But this 4.4 is referred to as a cuboid. So if we are given with a set of dimensions, we can generate a cuboid for each of the possible subset of the given dimension. And the result would be lattice. Okay, and the result would be a lattice of data cube. This lattice of cuboids is referred to as a data cube. And the one which holds the lowest level, for example, the cuboid that holds the lowest level of summarization is called the base cuboid. For example, this could be an example for base cuboid. So this is 3D actually, 3D non-base cuboid for time, item and what is the other thing we have here, and location. So this is a 3D data cube representation of the data table, and this is a non-base cuboid, whereas this is the 0D. So this 4D data cube representation of sales data according to this time, location and item is shown here. The 0 cuboid will hold the highest level of summarization and it is called the apex cuboid. See if we will take this. See, this is the different levels. So the 0D cuboid which holds the highest level of summarization is called the apex cuboid. This is the apex cuboid. In our example, this is the total sales or the dollars sold which is summarized over all 4 dimensions. The apex cuboid, this is usually denoted as it's denoted by all. This apex cube, if you will notice here, it is denoted by all. Okay, this is 1D cuboid, 2D cuboids, and 3D cuboid, and this is the base cuboid, which is called as a 4D base cuboid. So base cuboid will have. This is the lowest level of summarization. This is called the lowest level of summarization. The base cuboid is the lowest level of summarization. So the cuboid that holds the lowest level of summarization is called the base cuboid. And 4D cuboid, here whatever we saw, this is the lowest level and this is called the base cuboid. And 0D cuboid which holds the highest level, and this is the highest level which is represented by all. Okay, this is the lattice of cuboid. So let's look into the different types of schemas now. We have star, snowflakes and fact constellation schemas for multidimensional data models. So what do these represent? So conceptual modeling of data warehouse. So star schema, fact table in the middle connected to a set of dimension tables. In this we have a fact table in between, which is connected to a set of dimension table. The star scheme of the sales data warehouse. Let's see whether we have it here. Yes, this is the The different types of schemas we have, just we will go through the definition of this and then we will see them in detail. So here in star schema we will have a fact table in the middle connected to a set of dimension table. In snowflake schema, this is just a refinement of star schema where some dimensional hierarchy is normalized into a smaller set of smaller dimension table forming a shape similar to a snowflake, and we have fact constellation wherein we will have multiple fact tables which share a dimension table. So it is viewed as collection of stars, hence it is also called as galaxy schema. Fact constellation is also called as galaxy schema. So the most common modeling paradigm is the star schema, in which the data warehouse will contain a large central table in between containing the bulk of the data, wherein there will be no redundancy, and a set of smaller attendant tables, dimension table, one for each dimension, and this schema graph resembles a starburst with the dimension tables displayed in a radial pattern around the central fact table. So we have this star schema for all electronic cells in figure. This is the star schema. See here we have one fact table with multiple dimension table around. So we have this star schema. The same thing which is being depicted here. So this is the sales fact table. We have time, item, location, and branch dimension tables which are just connected to this star schema. So we will have a single table, fact table here. Okay, central fact table which contains bulk of data with no redundancy, and we have a smaller attendant tables called the dimension table, one for each dimension. So here we have a table wherein each table will contain a set of attributes. For example, if we take this location table, we have this location table. There we have attributes like location, key, street, city, state or province, country, and this constraint, the location table contains this. So sometimes this may introduce some redundancy. For example, if we take cities like Urbana and we have, let's move on to snowflake schema. The snowflake schema is a variant of the star schema where dimension tables are normalized, because as we saw in star schema we can have redundancy, hence in order to remove that we will normalize here in snowflakes. So some dimension tables will be normalized and we try to split the data into additional tables, and the resulting graphs form a shape similar to a snowflake. Here if we will see here supplier, we have supplier key and supplier type. So further this is divided into one more table. It is divided into one more table. So this will, so the major difference between the snowflakes and star schema model is that dimension tables of the snowflakes schema model may be kept in normalized form in order to reduce redundancies. So it's easy to maintain such a table, and it also stores, if we will see, such a table is easy to maintain and it also saves storage space. But this space saving is negligible when we compare to the magnitude of the fact table. And furthermore, we can say that the snowflake structure can reduce the effectiveness of browsing, as we need to have more joins to execute the query. So it can reduce the effectiveness of browsing. But the system performance may also be adversely impacted consequently. Hence, although this snowflake schema reduces redundancy, it is not as popular as the star schema in the data warehouse design, for the reason that it takes a lot of time for browsing, isn't it? So this is an example. So next we have our fact constellation, which is shown in this. The schema, it specifies two fact tables. If you will notice here, we will have two fact tables. Shipping fact table we have and sales fact table we have. So the sales table, this definition is identical that of the star schema, whatever we discussed. The shipping table will have 5 dimensions. It has 5 dimensions or keys. And if we will notice here, a fact consideration schema will allow dimension tables to be shared among different fact tables. If you will see here, we have 2 fact tables here, sales fact table and shipping fact table. And we have dimension table time, which is being shared by sales fact table as well as shipping fact table. So you can have dimension tables shared among between the fact tables. Okay, in data warehousing, there is a distinction between data warehouse and data mart. So data warehouse collects information from customers' items, and thus its scope is enterprise-wide, whereas that is a data mart. For data warehouse, fact consideration schema is commonly used. It can model multiple interrelated subjects. So where is this data warehouse fact consideration scheme used? It is usually used in data warehouse, whereas a data mart on the other hand is a department subset of the data warehouse that focus on selected subjects, and thus the scope of this is department wide, whereas this is multiple, it is interrelated subjects. It can model multiple and interrelated subjects, this fact consideration schema, which is used in data warehouse. Data mart requires only department wise. So for data marts, the star or snowflake scheme is commonly used, since both are just modeling single subject, although among these the star schema is the popular one, as you all know. So when it comes to the dimensions, the role of concept hierarchies. So this concept hierarchy will define a sequence of mappings from set of lower level concepts to high level, more general concepts. So if we consider the concept hierarchy for the dimension, location will have these values like Vancouver, Toronto, New York, and Chicago. And these many concept hierarchies are implicit within the database schema. If we will take dimension, location is described by these attributes like number, street, city, zip code. These attributes are related by a table order, forming a concept hierarchy like first street, then city, province, state, country. So there will be, and this concept hierarchy is shown here. So this concept hierarchies are implicit within the database schema, and it looks like this. So first we'll take the office, and then to which city, and then country, then region, and then home. So concept hierarchy. Hierarchical and lattice structures, hierarchical for location, and for time it is being discussed here. So for time, day, we can have months or weeks. Weeks also constitute to year, and we can also bifurcate into quarter and then to year. Street first, and then city, then state, and then country. So this is hierarchical and lattice structure of attributes in warehouse dimension. So for the location and time, we have just shown the hierarchical.